Our next question comes from Crystal Hurst.
Hi. In Uluru last week, over 50 delegates walked out in protest as part of the constitutional reform debates and discussions. Those people, the delegates, rejected constitutional recognition. They demanded a sovereign treaty with an independent Sovereign Treaty Commission governed by the Vienna Convention of the Laws of Treaties. Why not sovereign treaties now and perhaps constitutional reform later?
Yep, Pat, we've been hearing this phrase, treaty now, for a very long time. It came up again at Uluru, but it didn't carry the day, obviously.
Yeah. First of all, it was sad that we did have that walkout. It wasn't 30, it was about 7 delegates. There was a larger group that did walk out when we felt very sad about that. But I think they were concerned that the process was going to say something about our sovereignty. Now, all of the dialogues across the country, at every dialogue, everybody said we will do nothing that was going to abrogate Aboriginal sovereignty and Torres Strait Islander sovereignty. So I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding. But this, as a result of the Uluru statement, there's a roadmap, so there'll be a whole lot more talking over the next few months so we can settle any misunderstanding. So it was sad at the time, it was a small number of delegates accompanied by a larger group of people, and it was sad at the time, but I think we can resolve the misunderstanding between us all. So
Pat, very briefly, is this an acknowledgement that you can't put the treaty idea into the referendum?
We had a lot of discussion about strategy, obviously, and staging. There's 2 doors here. We're going to go through one, the constitutional door, and then we go through a treaty and agreement door. We were asked to consult on a voice to Parliament, head of power, etc., including agreement making. And the strategic consensus around the 12 dialogues and reached at Uluru last week was we've got to go through the constitutional door first and create a voice that is then in a position to sit down with Parliament and do agreements. That's the logic. Through one door first, and then we approach the other door. So, you know, the whole permutation of turning that around and doing a treaty first and then seeking constitutional reform was discussed at great length. But the consensus around strategy was go through the C door first. And it's a hard door to get into. Majority of voters in a majority of the states. But if we succeed in that, and in my view, we've been 10 years into this. We should cut to the chase now and have a question in the next 12 months. Let's have a referendum in the next 12 months. We've been 10 years into this thing. We'll be into year 11 if we put it off too much longer. I think there's tremendous goodwill in the Australian community for a successful referendum.